Big Blue has landed again, my people. Many Nigerians, including top stakeholders, have expressed their outrage over a shocking decision made by some political leaders. These leaders have agreed to shut down schools based on religious reasons, a move that has sparked widespread anger and disbelief across the country. Nobody expected this to happen, and now the backlash is intense, with many agitators speaking out against it. In this video, I will be sharing the reactions of various individuals who have come forward to voice their concern and grievance about the controversial decision. People from different walks of life, including parents, students, education experts, and activists, have strongly condemned the move, calling it unfair and harmful to the education system. But before we dive into the full details, if this is your first time watching one of my videos, please take a moment to like, comment, and share this video across all social media platforms. And also don't forget to click on the notification bell so you'll be notified whenever we drop a new content. Stay tuned, and I'll be back shortly with all the details. Welcome back, my wonderful viewers. As you all know, in our last post, we discussed the ongoing controversy surrounding the political shenanigans between Akpabio and Natasha. The case remains intense, sparkling heated debate across different platforms. Many Nigerians are still in shock over how things are unfold, while others continue to analyze the deeper implications of the situation. Despite all this, the news about the case is spreading rapidly, with more reactions coming in from various stakeholders. One of the most striking response from Rufai Oseni during the season with Arise TV yesterday, he did not hold back as he passionately criticized the illicit behaviors that have unfortunately become a norm in Nigeria's political space. Time and time again, we see the same patterns: corruption, manipulation, and abuse of power. Yet, those responsible for continuing to get away with it. Rufai's words were direct and powerful, shedding light on the level of impunity that has made governments in Nigeria a source of frustration for its citizens. In a moment, we will listen to a statement and the video below so that we can fully grasp the weight of the situation before diving deeper into today's discussion. His remarks will help us understand why many Nigerians are calling the government a complete disappointment. So sit tight, let's watch the video, and I will back shortly with more insight.
Was that it's very difficult to prove a sexual harassment case, yes. And that is the problem that that this situation is going to face. But before I come to you, meanwhile, we know that Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan has asked Akpabio's wife to refrain from getting involved in the allegations of sexual advances against her husband. In a letter dated March 1st, the Kogi senator, through her lawyer, told Natasha to consider her sanity and allow Akpabio defend himself against the allegations. Let me take Natasha's lawyer's statement, which went out over the weekend. He wrote, "Our client is not desirous of calling you out into the unfortunate saga concerning her allegations against the Senate President and wishes that you restrain yourself from delving into the obscene circumstances. While she has tolerated all the harassment from the Senate President, she was constrained to reveal the unfortunate torture and victimization which she has been going through in the red chambers under the hand of the Senate President. Our client has concrete evidence to substantiate her allegations. We will suggest that you leave the defense of the allegations for the Senate President to maintain your sanity and that of your family. Our client remains resolute in the defense of Nigerian women, and as a family woman, she will continue to maintain our common heritage and family values." Well, Rufai, I'll take one reaction after your comment.
You want to take the reaction?
Absolutely not. Go ahead.
Okay, ma'am. So, Audrey, Liberals was right. It's difficult to prove anything in this country, more so sexual harassment or sexual advances. Audrey, you and I are in this country. We live in this country. We were in this country where somebody was caught on camera putting dollar inside his clothes, Avariga. Till today, to prove that case in court is still a problem when we have hard facts. So what will always be the case is that it's going to be a public spectacle and people move on because we don't have a system of accountability. But there were sexual allegations against New York Governor Mario Cuomo then. I mean, Cuomo. Mario Cuomo was the father. What's it called? The Cuomo brothers, Andrew
yes,
Cuomo.
Andrew Cuomo.
He resigned. He didn't say because he did a good job at fighting COVID. He resigned. But you see, the accountability threshold in Nigeria is so low for for people that are high up there. Nobody will be able to tell Akpabio to be able to say, okay, let me recuse myself and call for an investigation, except if the president of this country is personally involved and he feels pain around the matter. That's the way Nigeria is wired. That's why you see that a Senate representative say, a matter of a national importance like this, you still have to bring it to the Senate and push it as a petition. So you can see that our institutions are not built to hold people accountable. Our institutions were not built to be able to hold people accountable. And what will now happen is that you will now see two factions in the public space. Mostly the paid faction, the misogyny faction, like you've been seeing all through the weekend. They will never say investigate the matter. They will look for evidence to corroborate. In all of this, they brought out a letter that they said allegedly was written to Natasha's husband. That letter has been debunked by the law firm. They've brought out the prior case. They've brought out many things to put on a parade. They will do everything. Then you saw the protest. Anyway, I'm happy I has been able to clarify that protests are paid for in this country. We all know how it goes. If you need a protest crowd, even means that I can look for people. There are very free people here in Lagos. So you will now see two factions. It will now be fought on the grounds of, I know this person, I know that person, in social media group. No pressure will be the order of the day. Probably what they will now wait for is that when it goes out of news circulation in the next 2-3 weeks, because we've started talking about Natasha on Friday, I can assure you by Thursday, Friday, and Monday next week, it's not going to be intense issue in the circulation again, except if new evidence emerge. And that's why people get away with things. I'm not saying Akpabio is guilty. What I'm saying is, if it's a country that needs development, that wants to hold its leader accountable, by now, we should have called for an investigation where evidence should be submitted. Probably what will happen to those cases filed in court will be at some point, it will be overtaken by events and nothing come out of that. But anyway, we would like to see evidence. Like Natasha claims she has evidence because he also alleges must prove.
Oh, absolutely.
And that was exactly what happened with the Joy Union case. Ayo, you are talking about what ended the Joy Union case off your mic. Once off your mic was said, in the reps that day, that case was over. Nobody talked about it. It's just going to be public suspicion. What made a lot of Nigerians remember the Joy Union case again was because of this one. So the question is on to the next one. But when you have a society like that, you will never build accountability. It will never grow. It will always be society about the powerful people. And women that might genuinely have concerns about sexual harassment will never see the light of day. But what now happens is that when this discontent grows to an extent where women now become violent to men that want to sexually harass them, it will now be pushed on women that, oh, women have started killing men and all of that. They are too aggressive. But we forget when society fails a lot of women. So that's how we've couched the Nigerian society. And this is not the society I used to know. This society used to be ethical. Before in this country, if they said anything about you, you yourself will come out to recuse yourself and say, investigate me. But the Nigerian society, based on militarization, I was talking with a very important person in this country yesterday. She told me that she came back to Nigeria in 1980. She left Nigeria in 1980. By the time she came in 1987, Nigeria was gone. So Nigerian society has been eroded in values, eroded in discipline and everything. Right. It's about who has the big money and who is the big man. That's why you see everybody wants to kill to become a big man. Yeah. And that's why you see that people will put on their ID card, senior special barber to the president.
Well, all right.
We've lost a society. It's indicative.
Let me take this tweet that sums up the conversation, a well-balanced tweet. This is from Betty, who wrote, Senator Akpabio versus Senator Natasha, matters arising. In more civilized climes, Akpabio would have by now stepped down from office to clear his name and fight his battle. Drafting his wife to fight Senator Natasha is highly disingenuous and an attempt to dodge the bullets, thereby throwing his wife under the bus. The misroad be that. Back to the crux of the matter. In the first instance, reassigning seats without one's knowledge is wrong. It's disrespectful and infringes on one's right, even if it had been done in the past and men, for whatever reason, cowardly decided to keep mute. But a bold Natasha belled the cat by saying in an unequivocal term that it was wrong, and we took notice. A wrong approach can be corrected no matter how long it had been applied. That's the argument. Some unserious women are talking blaming Natasha for being sentimental, and that has been Natasha's way. What a pointless argument. Natasha voiced her frustration, having endured a lot. According to her, that's courage. That's the kind of women we should support to represent us at the National Assembly. Nigerian women have been so mistreated and overpowered in all spheres of life and consequently cowed into silence. Is it not a big shame that Nigeria has only 4 female senators out of 107? We sure needed Natasha's outburst for the country to take a second look at the National Assembly to know what is happening in those chambers. Not a few Nigerians believe that our interests are not represented at the National Assembly, while tagging it as a retirement home, which calls for an overhaul. Like Rosa Parks, Natasha is on the path of making history. Nigerian women should rally around her. We need more of her type. Come next dispensation. Good girls don't get corner office, according to Milie Odiambo, the popular Kenyan female legend.
Welcome back, my wonderful viewer. If this is your first time on this channel, welcome to Corner Blog, your #1 spot for authentic celebrity gist, political wahala, entertainment buzz, and religion buzz. Make sure you like, comment, and share this video across all social media platforms, and don't forget to click on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any update. Now, my people, let's talk about this latest disgraceful move by some Nigerian politicians. If not for the fact that our ancestors and fathers were brainwashed by religious activities imposed on them by the colonizers, tell me why in 2025 Nigerians are still enslaving themselves with religious ignorance. How can a whole government wake up on morning and desire to shut down schools in the name of fasting? What kind of a backward thinking is this? Instead of focusing on development, technology, quality education, and job creation, those so-called leaders are busy dragging the country deeper into illiteracy. And the worst part, the same people supporting this nonsense are the ones complaining about bad government. Let's be honest, my people, Nigeria has lost direction. This country is being ruled by people who have no visions, no intelligence, and no plans for progress. Even a prominent politician has spoken out saying that instead of closing schools, it is better if the government is shut down. And honestly, is he lying? Because what exactly has the government contributed to the lives of ordinary citizens? Think about it. Bauchi, Katsina, Kano, and Kebbi State are the ones shutting down school for 5 weeks because of the fasting. But these are the same states with the highest number out of school children in Nigeria. Instead of reducing illiteracy, they are increasing it. This is why the country is not growing. Even the Christian Association of Nigerian can has also come out to condemn this rubbish, saying it is a violation of students' rights and a dangerous setback for education. And my people, can did not lie. Let's talk about other Muslim majority countries like Saudi Arabia, UAE, Indonesia. Do they shut down schools for 1 month during Ramadan? No, instead, they adjust school schedules so that students can balance fasting and learning. But here in Nigeria, our leaders don't have sense. Instead of finding a way to balance religion and education, they just shut down everything and call it a day. And the most annoying part, they didn't even consult parents, teachers, or education experts before making this senseless decision. One angry parent even said, instead of closing school, why don't they close the entire government? And honestly, is that not the better opinion? Because the government is already useless to the masses. At least, let children get an education. 5 weeks of no school means millions of students will forget what they learn, struggle to catch up, and fall behind in their studies. But do these leaders care? Of course not. Their own children are in foreign school getting world-class education while the poor man's child is left to roam the street in the name of religion. This is why Nigeria is not moving forward. The rest of the world is advancing in technology, AI, medicine, and business. But Nigeria is stuck, arguing over religion and tribalism. This is why we are still where we are today. In a video I'm about to show you, a prominent politician, Omoyele Sowore, who was concerned about the issues, has zoomed out to state that Nigerians don't have direction, that instead of closing the school, it's better that the government is closed. This is a serious case we need to look into. So let's watch this video and I'll be back.
Become the president of Nigeria said it. They said we have no business with religion. So I can't be president and you come and close down schools because of fasting. No. It takes me back to outrage again that has become normalized. You're right, religion is sensitive. And by the way, I wish our Muslim brothers and sisters in Ramadan Kareem, they are fasting. But it is outrageous that anybody will close down schools where knowledge is supposed to be transmitted and transferred, including to Muslims. Because some of the schools that are going to be closed are also Quranic centers. So how do they learn Quran if the schools are closed down because of fasting? But it speaks to the depth of ignorance that has become a state policy in Nigeria. Like, your leaders are ignoramuses. Basically, let me just put it straight, they are idiots. They should ask Saudi Arabia, where everybody is headed to for lesser Hajj, did they close down their schools? They can't even afford to, because they need the schools to produce the next Quranic leaders. But you know, your governors are not interested. I keep saying that the less the territorial space available in Nigeria, the better for those who are accidentally in government. And this is how they control the mind of the so-called public. And let me be clear, it's not limited to the North. Religion is a global problem. That is why Karl Marx says that religion is the opium of the masses. The moment they sniff it, they lose their minds. And the more we separate the state from religion, the better. See, when I become the president of Nigeria, I've said it, the state will have no business with religion. So I can't be president and you come and close down schools because of fasting. No. If you want to close down anybody, close down the government house. Because that's where, so that you can stop the corruption, and we can reinvest it in sending children to school. The schools instead should provide food so that when children are about to leave, you break their fast. Bring them back early in the morning to break their fast and continue education. Do you know that scientifically, when people are fasting, their minds are clearer and they are purer? Scientifically, this is not even spirituality. If you fast, you are a better person than a person who is not fasting. Your brain works because the distribution of nutrients goes to where it should be. But when you eat too much, you're just bogged down by hubris. So fasting is actually a better time to learn, because your mind is clear. You know, you're not distracted. And if you are a Muslim, you are fasting as a process of purification. How are you? You are purifying your mind and no distraction, so you learn better. But idiots don't know any of these things. And when you tell them, you know what they will say, Shura is anti-Muslim. They can even ask that they should do a fatwa on me for saying that they should not close down schools. Not a Muslim issue. They have weaponized religion in Nigeria. Ebuka Obi has been caught. This is not the first time he was caught. But my issue with them is that they tell you that they have a powerful God and you should worship the God and they can do everything. There's nothing God cannot do. But then they go and use police to fight their physical enemies. You are saying God is powerful, but you can't even rely on God. You still go to the godless police to go and detain. Ebuka Obi has detained Ijele now for close to a year because Ijele said he performs fake miracles. The police he was using was caught in another crime and has been fired from the police. That's enough to even dismiss the case. Ijele is at Ikoyi prison with a kidney problem. I still spoke to his wife yesterday. And Ebuka Obi has been trying to explain that they sponsored the lady. I don't even want to go into the details because I know all these guys, all these religious people, they are fake. All of us know it. You know, I grew up in a village that has 8 churches. The people that hail even the church people are the herbalists. When they say herbalists in Nigeria, you know, people just think it's people who put white clothes and cowrie shells. In my community, herbalists are people who understand herbs and how it helps to cure people. Everybody goes to the herbalist. The member of our family who delivers all my family babies and treat us does not go to church. The church in my village, I've been saying it, has never performed a miracle before. The church has never made a blind person see before. Forget about it. I've never seen a church that made a cripple to walk. So forget about all these big churches lying to you. And like I said, I know again, the Muslims will come after me, the Christians will come after me. But you know, my Christian name is Stephen. I'm the first Archbishop, you know, recognized in the Bible. I'm here to speak truth to power. Whether it is temporal, spiritual, religious, wherever they come, we must demolish their lies. Because the truth is that the reason why religion is thriving in our society is because government does not exist. Otherwise, if you have great governance today in this country, your prayer points will change.
Exactly.
When I ask people who travel abroad, some of them have even forgotten which churches they are going in Nigeria. Because you're not going abroad to be praying. You can't go and buy anointing oil to pour a transformer abroad. Because you don't even know where the transformer part of your house is located. It's buried underground. You understand? If your child is born, you can't be carrying olive oil to be sanitizing the child. They will give 8 injections to the child that will prepare them for any possibility of polio, mumps, tetanus, measles in the future. So you rule out a number of diseases. It is not religion that improves even lifestyle. The first time man started living long was when we brought sanitation into our lives, not religion. As you can see, religion has killed more people in this country than has saved more people. My father had stroke years ago, I think 2024. I was not in the country. My brothers took my father to a crusade. That was where his condition got worse. Reverend Banke, that German guy that used to come and scam Nigerians. More people die out of the stampede at his crusades than anything else. You can never prove to you that he healed somebody, but there's somebody who is likely to die at this stampede, or somebody's leg will be broken, and they won't be able to find him to fix it. It's hospitals that fix this. Let's even tolerate religion to a point that we say there's God. God has already created everything you need. You understand? Even according to all the religious texts, they said God created heaven and earth, and He placed you there. If God wanted you to be in heaven, He wouldn't have created the earth. And interestingly, God does not live in heaven. God lives elsewhere, because that's where He came from to come and create heaven and earth, and went back there. Maybe it's a boys' quarter somewhere. I don't know. But you know, the biggest problem with religion is that even people who are religious preachers don't understand religion. Because most of the people who are pastors today are people who couldn't make it in real life. They went to school, they failed. Or some who don't want to do serious work. Like the dunamis man, I told him, I met him before, I said, this is your church, if it's a hospital, you know you'll be saving more people than. He got upset. Since then, you know, he doesn't want to hear my name. But that's the truth. Because he said his wife is a doctor, himself is I said, let's convert this place to hospital for 1 year. You will see how many people you will save. But you are here just collecting, using the place as collection points for victims of your false doctrine. So I'm saying because I know the pastors don't like me, the imams don't like me, but I know God loves me. Because God brought me to come and tell them the truth. in this world. So, like I always tell people, and we can wrap up there, I'm a man of God without a church. If you believe in God. This is what God is about. It's about love. It's about justice, right? God is about delivering people, healing the sick, providing food for, fighting for the oppressed, including providing wine when people are at events. That's the first miracle Jesus made, man. So that people can get high a little bit.
My people, let's talk about the disgrace that just happened in Nigeria. Which kind of a country be this? A whole government woke up one morning and decided that education is not important anymore. Imagine shutting down schools for 5 weeks because of fasting. 5 whole weeks. I mean, how do people sit down and come up with this level of stupidity? May I ask, now religion we go chop? The same countries we copy religious practice from, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Egypt. Do they shut down their school for 1 month because of fasting? No, their students will still go to school and still learn, still progress. But here in Nigeria, we have leaders who think the best way to handle Ramadan is to lock children at home doing nothing. And this is why Nigerian is not growing. Tell me, which serious country in the world shut down education for religion? Even during Christmas, Easter, or any Christian event, school don't close for 1 month. But when it's time for fasting, the government suddenly remembers they function without shutting down everything. Let's be real, my people. This is not about religion. This is about wickedness, bad government, and the deliberate destruction of education. Why is it always the northern state that make this ridiculous decision? Is it not Bauchi, Katsina, Kano, and Kebbi that already have the highest number of out-of-school children in Nigeria? Instead of them to fix their education system, they are making it worse. And before anybody comes to defend this nonsense, let me tell you the hard truth. The children of these same politicians are in private school and foreign universities. They are not affected by the decision. Their children will finish school, get the best job, and continue reigning over the children of the poor who are being forced into illiteracy. And let's not forget about the Christianization of Nigeria. They have already spoken out, calling the decision a disgrace and a setback for education. And can it not lie? Education is the foundation of any great nation. But here we are in 2025, still treating education like an inconvenience. And do you know the worst part? These so-called leaders didn't even ask parent, teachers, or education experts before making this senseless decision. One angry Nigerian even said, instead of closing schools, why don't they shut down the entire government? And honestly, is that not the best idea? Since the government is already useless to these people, they might as well close themselves instead of closing school. My people, let's tell ourselves the truth. Nigeria has lost direction. Instead of investing in education, they are busy destroying the future of young Nigerians in the name of religion. And when these same children grow up with no education, they will be left with nothing but poverty, violence, and crime. But guess what? That's exactly what those politicians want. An uneducated population is so easy to control. This country needs to wake up. We cannot keep tolerating this level of foolishness and expect progress. Enough is enough. This country will never grow until we separate religion from government policy. So don't forget to drop your comment below. Let's drag this matter properly. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let's make sure this message spreads like fire. And this is where I'll be putting an end to this very episode.